Hi, I'm Maharaja Gopal, former Director of Nursing for Royal Perth Bentley Group. The World Health Organization has dedicated 2020 to the year of the nurse and midwife, marking 200 years since the birth of Florence Nightingale. She was a revolutionary figure who opened the Nightingale School of Nursing. I am proud to have worked at Royal Perth Bentley Group and see how our nurses make a vital contribution to society. The challenges of COVID-19 serve as a reminder of the humanity inside us all. Our nurses at Royal Perth Bentley Group and throughout history are recognized for their safe and compassionate care delivery and for their expertise and strength to deal with any situation. This video celebrates our historical Royal Perth Bentley Group ex-trainees as they share their journey along the path of the nursing profession.
My name is Julio ODonnell. I trained here many years ago as Jill Outram. I started my nursing training in February 1957. I hadn't always wanted to be a nurse. I was happy to be an office worker. But when I was 16 and a half, I broke my finger and I was sent up to Perth Casualty, as it was in those days, Royal Perth Casualty. And sitting in the plaster room, I looked around and I thought, I could do this. And I started nursing on the 11th of February, 1957.
I was a country girl, and when you lived in the country, there was only really about 3 things that you could do, or 4. You could become a teacher, a nurse, work in a shop, or if there was an office where you could work. But I'd always had this thing that I did really want to do nursing. Came down and started my nursing training in April 1957. It changed my life.
My name is Lynn Pellick. My maiden name was Cook, and I was in the school of 359, one of the largest schools that had been through Royal Perth. I think there was 54 of us in the school. Wonderful school, wonderful people in it. I loved my time at Royal Perth.
My mother always said that I wanted to be a nurse ever since I was a 3-year-old. End of story. I started my training when I was 16 at Royal Perth Rehabilitation Hospital. That was at Shenton Park. And then I did my training here at Royal Perth, and I was in the School of Nursing. I think I like most about being a Royal Perth nurse is because I'm very loyal to Royal Perth.
My view was that this hospital was a very traditional hospital. It was the original hospital. It had very, very interesting people seemed to work here. They seemed to be extremely loyal, very dedicated to giving the community the best, always working hard to excel.
I always liked the idea of being able to help people, and nursing seemed to fit that bill quite well. I think it's very humbling. You know, people trust you to be part of their lives when they're at their most vulnerable, and it was such a wonderful group of people and patients that you dealt with. You became part of these people's lives, almost like family.
Didn't need counsellors. If we'd had horrific days, we usually had someone to talk to, laugh with and cry with.
It was either your nursing friends or my mum got it. Oh, Mum, I've had a bad day. Thank goodness for Mum.
Family. We don't always get on, but when the chips are down, we all knuckle together just like a family does, and that was always what I loved about working at Royal Perth.
What advice would I share with a graduate nurse or somebody interested in studying? Certainly, go on with it, stick with it.
Please go nursing. You'll find it so enjoyable.
A career in nursing is really a career in healthcare. So what you have to do, what I needed to tell my younger self, is to expect change. And with change gives the opportunity to actually create something new for yourself as well as something new for the profession.
I would say just go for it. It's the best thing. My daughter started her nursing training at the age of 42 and now works in intensive care, and she just loves it.
I think it's a really rewarding career. One piece of advice would be work on their communication and keep their compassion for people be present when they're talking to people and not, you know, thinking of all the chores they've got to do. It's our job to make the patient and the significant others at ease, because they're in a very foreign environment. It's very scary for them, and I think it's important for us to put them at ease as best we can.